Hello and welcome to The Stinger, a superfan's guide to Marvel, Star Wars, DC, and much, much more in nerd and fandom entertainment. I am your co-host, Josh Gann, and joining me today, as always, are two guys who they're kind of like onions. They just got a lot of layers to them. Trent Neely and Joseph Snead. How we doing, guys?
I like that boulder. That is a nice boulder.
This is the way. Dang it, wrong. Um, the only thing I'm getting in my head now is a quote from Shrek 2, so I don't know if we need to do that.
Shrek 2 also, also welcome on this podcast. But yeah, thank you all for hopping on to listen to a very special episode of The Stinger. Today, we're talking about Shrek, baby. Yeah. An absolute banger of a movie, a character who reigns supreme upon pop culture in the 21st century. There's really not too much else to say. We could roll out the red carpet and say that this episode focused on Shrek is because Shrek is an icon. Shrek is an icon. It's 2026, which means it is the 25th anniversary of Shrek introducing himself to the world in the first Shrek movie, which is why we are doing our episode today, our most recent addition to the Hall of Fame. I think our last Hall of Fame episode was Revenge of the Sith. Is that correct?
That sounds right.
So we're going Revenge of the Sith was our most recent inductee, and then we're hopping on over to Shrek as our next inductee, which to me feels like a great passing of the baton.
I agree.
A lot of quotes from both of those movies.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're here to do today. Housekeeping, as always, you can listen to this podcast wherever you get your podcast. You can watch us on YouTube at The Stinger Pod and follow us on social media at The Stinger Pod on TikTok and on Instagram. All right, guys, we decided we were like trying to figure out what our next episode would be. This was one of the options. I'm so glad we landed on this. We've each all rewatched Shrek within the past week or so. I think y'all two both watched Shrek 2 as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to add that into the discussion as well. Let's start off with just like, what does the Shrek franchise, Shrek the character, what does it mean to you?
I mean, it feels like just a cornerstone of my childhood, right? Like it was like Disney, Pixar, Star Wars, and Shrek. Like those were the things. Like I don't even know
what a beautiful trifecta.
How many times I've seen this movie on DVD over the years. We had the soundtrack. We were so obsessed with the soundtrack that my dad ripped a second copy of the disc, and then that copy was skipping so much, and we were listening to it so much that my mom was like, "If this skips one more time, I'm throwing the CD out the window." So she threw the CD out the window. That happened.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's some good lore right there.
There we go. I mean, yeah, there's so many jokes and like just mini quotes that like I still say to this day. No, I mean, and like Eddie Murphy as Donkey, I feel like I could spend like 30 minutes by itself on. No, I think it's just so funny. It was funny to me as a kid, and now that I'm older and I really understand how like meta and like subversive it is in making fun of the fairy tale stuff. It's like it's aged remarkably well, like on this most recent rewatch. No, I'm really excited to dig into it with you guys.
Yeah, I think, we kind of all remember Shrek as kids, 5, 6 years old, watching it, and a lot of the jokes go over your head. Shrek's different as an adult.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Shrek is different as an adult. And I think the first time I watched it as an adult, Trent was at one of our movie nights in college and was actually picking up on all the jokes like, oh, this is different from a Pixar movie.
Yes.
It's so adult, yeah.
But so many like different little jokes and stuff. The movie just like absolutely roasting Lord Farquaad the whole time.
Yes.
Of just all of the loser tendencies of him was really funny. Donkey, of course, great character, and we got Donkey and Mushu kind of in the same time from Eddie
Yes.
Murphy,
Oh, right.
Within three
and
years.
I think
Oh my
Mulan was first,
gosh.
but those are some like those two are pretty big characters for us because I love
Oh yeah.
Mulan. Um, but yeah, I think it does age well, and I think it stayed in the pop culture for longer than a lot of the movies from that time period.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just because I think there's so much effort put into it. Like they really were trying hard to make something clever. The meta stuff, like Trent was watching or was mentioning, which you can also see when you watch Shrek 2, some of the
Mm-hmm.
meta stuff in that.
Yep.
Um, yeah, really fun movie. We watched it a lot when I was a kid. We watched a lot of the maybe not a lot, but I remember watching the Shrek Christmas special
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
came
Yeah.
out. It's kind of like watching the Madagascar Christmas special. Um, but yeah, I think they had like Burger King toys,
Oh,
and so
you know they had
we'd go
to.
get those. It was either Burger King or Happy Meals.
Mm-hmm.
But we would go and get a bunch of the little Happy Meal toys, and that was back when Happy Meal toys were cool and were dangerous because they had batteries in them, and they would like say little things, and you could press a button and they would speak. So
I
yeah,
had I had the Shrek 2 game on the original Xbox as well.
Oh, dang.
uh, Trent, let me one up you there. I had the Shrek 2 game on the Game Boy Advance.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
the
There we
advance,
go.
bruh. What a throwback. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I yeah, I could say most of the same things that you guys have said. I think I was more like my memory is stronger on Shrek 2. And so
Mm-hmm.
coming back to this, there was a ton that I remembered because of how iconic Shrek 1 is, but I kept like there were scenes that I was like, "Oh, that's right. That's in Shrek 2. That's not in the first one."
Mm-hmm.
There are certain like the opening to Shrek 2 where they're on the road and Donkey's asking like how are we there yet? Are we there? Like that's ingrained into my memory. And then there's so much with the other like fantasy characters that happens in the second movie that is so ingrained into my memory. But I just like we had that on DVD and we played it nonstop in the
Mm-hmm.
house. It was one of those movies where genuinely I wonder like were my parents going insane? You know, like it's just like because we're all talking about it like we're so attached to this character. It's like weird and goofy and zany and like a lot of boy humor too, which is just like kind of perfect for the age that we were all out when these movies were coming out. And like our
100%.
parents had to like have it on in the background all the time for
Mm-hmm.
us, and I'm just like my parents must have been going insane. Like I just they didn't attach to Shrek the same way. My parents were big Disney adults, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked about that before. And so they like Shrek, but it wasn't the same attachment that they wanted to get into watching the movie with us, like with the Pixar movie. So
Mm-hmm.
Shrek kind of felt like more of, me and my brother Jake's thing, you know what I mean? And so but man, it just brings up like a lot of good memories of sitting at home, throwing the DVD on because there's nothing else to do. It's like summer break or something, and you just want to like have a good time watching Shrek. So
Mm-hmm.
Talking about the boy humor of Shrek, I'm gonna say something controversial, and it's gonna let out a secret.
oh,
Um, Regarding boy humor,
uh-oh.
there's two types of people. There's boys who are open with saying that they think fart humor is funny, and then there's liars. It's just a fact of life. Every boy likes a fart joke. Like it's
Right, right,
hilarious,
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and there's so many of them in Shrek.
There's so many.
There's so many.
That was brave of you, Joseph. I just gotta commend you. Thanks for
What a guy.
Hey,
thanks
I'm
for being so vulnerable on the podcast. I'm glad we could get
hey
that secret told.
man of the people here.
No, I mean it's true. I mean that is a core sector of these movies, I think.
100%.
Um yeah, I think the other thing is this movie is like it starts a franchise where there's several movies throughout the next 20 years. We have a fifth one coming out next year.
Mm-hmm.
So we grew up with Shrek and now we're like able to pass it on to like our kids, like they'll probably be making Shrek movies when Carter is of age to watch movies.
For sure.
They might
But
still
this
be making Puss in Boots movies.
that's
They just
true.
had the second one a few years ago.
That's true, which is everyone adored.
It's great.
But like, what is how would you describe Shrek's like importance to pop culture?
I mean, I feel like because of all of like the inside meta jokes, like I was thinking about it, I was like, this is the movie that taught me what meta humor was before
Mm,
it like before I was old enough to watch, like, obviously like Deadpool didn't exist and like Family Guy and all that stuff. Like this is what like that you could like reference other things and make fun of stuff.
true. Yeah. Yeah.
And it was and so the idea of this movie making fun of the Disney classics, but then also this movie like winning the first Oscar for best animated feature, it like in its own meta way, it becomes like the rival animation studio to Disney, like in the early 2000s. Like
Yeah.
this is sort of the
Yeah.
announcement of after Prince of Egypt. Like the hits, like, hey, DreamWorks is a viable counter programming
Hmm.
to Disney at this point. Um, and it's like kept going that way ever since. I mean, like I wouldn't say all of DreamWorks is better than like Disney or Pixar, but there's some that are, like How to Train Your Dragon and like
Yeah. Yeah.
stuff like that.
Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu
Kung Fu
Panda.
Panda. Yeah.
And so yeah, and then I think and just like Shrek has become just like the image of Shrek has become such a like big thing in memes, and like there was
Right.
like that whole like
Yes.
Shrek rave thing. I don't know if y'all remember that from a couple of years ago, where it was like people posting just like at EDM concerts, like they would just put Shrek dancing on a screen, and EDM music was
Oh, okay.
playing.
All right.
Yeah. Al Pacino has a Shrek phone case. That one pretty viral a couple years
Are
ago.
you serious?
Yes, look this up. Al Pacino Shrek phone case. It's so funny.
That's good. I gotta look that up.
Yeah, no, I feel like he as a character beyond the movies merits like he as a character might be like one of the most famous animated characters along with like Bugs Bunny. Like
Oh my gosh. Wait, that's a really good question. Yeah, what is a more recognized like who's a more recognizable character?
like
I
In
still think, I
today's
still think,
generation, I would say Shrek.
right.
I don't know. I still think Bugs Bunny is big, but and then they kind of all pale in comparison to Mickey.
They
But
do. But like Mickey is the only like one that might be that is probably bigger.
but it's interesting because like those are the faces of their studios. It's like Mickey is Disney
Yep.
and Bugs Bunny is Looney Tunes, and Shrek is DreamWorks.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, there's so much like I think it's the meme culture of Shrek that has
100%.
made it totally. I mean, like how many Shrek gifs are there? We're gonna talk about it later. Like people literally doing like Shrek cosplay, like Shrek drag, Shrek like Shrek collect like collecting different Shrek items.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
is the thing. Like you could make Shrek your personality if you wanted to.
Or like how much airplay like All Star by Smash Mouth got just because of Shrek.
Yeah,
Like the only
yes.
like the reason that like I know the songs from this movie is because like Shrek introduced them to me. To the point when I hear them anywhere else, my brain is transported to Shrek. Like if I
Yes,
hear
yes.
Hallelujah in a like a somber
Yeah.
context of a video, my brain is still transported to Shrek and Fiona in the fields. Like this is how
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna mention Smash Mouth too. Like Smash Mouth is very much like if you ever watch the music video for All Star, you're like that track's being in Shrek.
Right. Right.
It's just so like wild and kind of crazy and colorful. But yeah, I think the music choices that they use, and then having like Donkey sing some of them, and like some of the other
Yep.
characters join in, and Shrek has the big end of movie dance parties,
Yep.
and I think that started that kind of craze. I think you see that in Illumination a lot too,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
where there's like a big dance party at the end of an animated movie.
Yep.
So even Shrek influencing other movies to do that, because like there's the one at like the end of Megamind, and there's ones at the end of a lot of the Despicable Me movies,
Right.
and just all of these different studios now doing the same thing.
Yep.
And again, it's a great contrast to Disney because like all of the Disney stuff is like musicals written for the movie that the characters themselves sing, whereas Shrek was like, we can take existing music and just plug it in, and like
And
still it'll be a thing.
Yes. Yes.
And they've even been doing that in the Super Mario movies where you're like, but Mario already has iconic music, and they're like, yeah, well, we're just gonna take like this other pop culture
Mm.
music stuff, something like Sing, the
Mhm.
like the
Yeah.
animal musical thing,
Yeah.
doing that. It's everywhere, and Shrek is like the first one that I remember doing that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's talk about how this movie was made. There's a ton that we could go into.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this until doing research for the pod and listening to other things over the years, but like this movie is a little bit of a miracle that it even got made in the first place.
Mhm.
Um it began pre-production in 1991, 10 years before release, which is insane. I don't think that's like, a common thing happening unless you're the MCU.
Right.
Um I feel like one of the like starting points for this is that Chris Farley was going to be Shrek.
Mhm.
And what I learned is 80 to 90% of his voice recordings as the character were complete before he passed,
Mhm.
which is crazy that they got that far into this without Mike Myers' voice.
Right.
So I don't know, Trent, you may know more than me. Does that mean that like other actors had voiced their parts too? Like did Eddie Murphy voice his part too? Like
I
thinking
don't
he
know.
was
They could have done it just Chris Farley.
Yeah,
Like he could
yeah,
have been the first person to get in the booth, and like they were like, "Oh, he's not done," and then like we didn't do a lot with anybody else yet, so let's sort of redo it with everything. And obviously, even like Mike Myers doing it in his own voice wasn't getting it
right.
done, and so then they make the switch to the Scottish accent,
Yeah.
and that's what like really sells the thing.
So I think he tried it in a Canadian accent first,
Hmm.
which I don't maybe he is Canadian.
He is Canadian.
Okay, okay. So he tried it as a normal voice first. Didn't work. And decides to throw on like his like best Scottish impression that's like also kind of like playing into the bit. And like I cannot imagine one as fantastic of a comedic performer that Chris Farley was. I can't imagine if it was him instead of Mike Myers. And two, I can't imagine if this voice sounded Canadian as opposed to Scottish. Like
Right.
the whole movie seems different to me.
Have you guys ever seen the clips from the original Star Wars movie where they leave David Prowse's voice
Yeah,
in when
I
he's
have.
like in the Darth
Yes,
Vader suit?
yes,
And
yes.
it's like it's insane how much it doesn't fit. He's like, "Bring me the princess and the passengers of the ship."
It's very like British evil
Yeah,
Shakespearean.
yeah. It's like so
But,
out of
but
place, and that's how I picture like the first recording of this
well,
to sound like.
there are clips like on YouTube of Chris Farley doing lines from Shrek.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can
really?
find
Like
pieces of it.
it's
Well, I
it's
mean,
weird.
is it weird? Yeah, it has to be weird, right? Like, would it? I
Yeah,
guess. Do you think it would have worked in the same way that this version that we got worked?
I don't think so.
I
I
don't
think
think
it
just because
probably
like
still would have worked because Chris Farley's really funny,
I'm
Right.
about to
but I
say
don't
it
think
would have
it
been
would have been the same.
hilarious, but like the Scottish is such a big part of it. Like the get out of my swamp with the Scottish accent. Is
Right.
like the accent's the reason I think that stuck so much in like our brains as kids.
It kind of adds to that just quirky nature
Mhm.
because I feel like, not that like Scottish people are weird or quirky or something, but it is like when you're coming into a movie about ogres, like it's not what you expect.
Right.
They could have
Um,
somebody from Boston do the voice work for the movie, and when it plays in Scotland, be like, "Let's give you like a taste of this. Here's a Boston person."
Here's one of the Wahlberg brothers. Go. Um, that's so funny. The other like casting thing I wanted to point out was originally Donkey and Shrek were going to be Steve Martin and Bill Murray.
That would have been interesting. But I feel like
I can't remember who was going to be who, but that was supposed to be the duo.
Steve
yeah,
Martin strikes me as Donkey, and Bill Murray seems like Shrek.
Yeah,
yeah, that
yeah,
that tracks. I feel like they're like kind of similar enough as comedic
yeah.
performers though that like there's
Right.
too much overlap. Whereas the whole thing that's funny about Shrek and Donkey is they like are opposite ends of the personality spectrum, but like
Yes,
they do fit together as friends in their own way, and like that's what makes it work.
I completely agree. I don't. I I think Bill Murray could have worked as Shrek. Not as an iconic as a way as Mike Myers did, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Steve Martin as Donkey just doesn't. There. It's almost like as much as we were just talking about how iconic Mike Myers made the Shrek performance. I think even more so, I cannot imagine anyone other than Eddie Murphy doing Donkey.
No, it's in my notes I was like everyone in this is so good and everyone in this
Yeah,
is so funny, but literally every single line Eddie
yeah,
Murphy says in this movie made me like either chuckle or fully laugh out loud on this most recent rewatch. I'm like everything
yes,
he says
And
killed me.
I I don't want to talk bad about the other performances. I think you could feasibly have other people do most of the other
mm,
characters
hmm,
except for Shrek and Donkey.
Yes,
yeah, yeah. I think that's totally fair.
I would agree with
And
that.
they get so much of the work in this movie. I mean, I feel
Hmm.
like they probably have 75% of the lines in this movie. Um, yeah, I think the other like how high in the Eddie Murphy rankings is Donkey as a character?
I was thinking about this. I'm so glad you asked this. I think this might be his best work besides like Trading Places. Like
Really?
like I like
Oh my gosh!
like
Whoa!
I think my top 3 Eddie Murphy in terms of like ranking it of like him doing what he does better than anyone. It
Uh-huh.
is like Trading Places, Shrek, and Mushu.
Really?
Those are my 3 favorite Eddie Murphy things.
Let me give you a blanket one. I'm gonna say Saturday Night Live Eddie Murphy,
Yeah. I mean,
I mean, yeah.
Donkey
iconic.
and Mushu.
Wait, Donkey and
Donkey
Mushu is the next.
Donkey and Mushu.
I think so. I've never seen Trading Places.
Iconic.
I also have not.
I have seen Coming to America, and I think Coming to America would like be top for me of
Mhm.
what I have seen. But I mean, when I was watching this, I was just like to Eddie Murphy's like target audience. I would feel like Donkey is such a like afterthought of like, oh yeah, that's right. Eddie Murphy did, do the kids movie thing.
Well,
But like
yeah,
in reality, we don't think of this movie the same without him.
No, and I think even Eddie Murphy himself said that he views Donkey as like some of the best work he's done. Like
Oh, really?
he's so
yeah,
proud of.
and
That's
I think
cool.
it is, and it's so different because of how raunchy of a comedian Eddie Murphy was, and I guess still is. Like some of his comedy specials and some of his characters on Saturday Night Live are pretty not kid friendly.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And then you have Donkey who he says a couple of words here and there, um, and Mushu who are like iconic kids characters now.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean I think you look at something on his SNL work, like I personally love Gumby, um, Mr. Robinson,
Mhm.
the skit where he was kind of talking about race relations, the White Like Me skit.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen that one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Probably not too PC for today, but I think it's hilarious. Um, and just a James Brown on there, Celebrity Hot Tub. I think he did like a Stevie Wonder one. I think if you look at his body of work in the short amount of time on SNL, that's got to be up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good call out. But still, like, I think that just speaks to the power of this movie and his performance. That like we're talking about Donkey in the midst of all of this.
No, and it was
Where do y'all think Shrek is in the Mike Myers?
oh
All
this is
right.
my
Well.
favorite.
All right.
I
Well,
think this is
hold on.
the
Austin
So
Powers
what?
exists.
So I think I might need to pull up an IMDb because like not like I don't know if I could tell you something else Mike Myers did if I'm being completely honest.
Austin Powers.
Austin Powers
Oh, Austin
exists. I
Powers.
forgot about
Okay.
Austin Powers is probably like more like if you ask me like what thing best encapsulates what Mike Myers did as a comedian, Austin Powers is the answer of
Okay.
like
Yeah,
all of
that
the
makes
different
sense.
characters and costumes and stuff.
Wayne's World is
Waits
really
World.
funny.
Wayne's World's up there.
But you think
I
but do you think either of those is iconic of a role as Shrek?
Austin Powers is up there. It's
Okay.
like they're like one A,
It's,
one B. I
Okay.
I like
I
have obviously a bigger emotional attachment to Shrek. I saw Austin
Right.
Powers
Right.
much later.
I think Shrek does go above Austin Powers for me, but not by much.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah. I mean, well, I mean, it's just impressive. This movie, like what we're talking about, what it did.
It punches way above its weight.
So
Like,
Hmm.
to that point, you put this in our on our doc beforehand, Trent, and that's you said it once already. It won the inaugural Oscar for
mhm.
best animated feature.
Yes, it did beat out
So that
Monsters Inc.
beat out Monsters Inc. and Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. Shout outs to Jimmy Neutron. Um,
Jimmy
but
Timmy
the
Power Hour.
the
Mm.
the fact that it beat out Pixar,
Yep.
I mean that's meta in and of itself because of the origin of this movie. The stabs it takes at Disney in the movie to
Yes.
then beat a Disney. Well, I don't know. Was Pixar owned by Disney at the time?
I think it
I
was
think
by
they
then.
got bought like after Toy Story or Bugs.
Okay, so it's under the Disney umbrella. So they beat in the biggest spot. They beat Disney for the Oscars.
And
It's a huge deal.
was Pixar? I mean, I know everybody loved um, Toy Story, but was Pixar like Pixar yet? Like, what other movies had they released by the time Shrek had come out?
They
So
had
it was
See,
done
like Bugs
Bugs
Life,
Life,
Toy
the first
Story.
two Toy Stories, and I think Monsters Inc. might have been the next one. I
yeah, we're close to
because
So
I
beginning.
believe the order is like Toy Story 1, Bugs Life, Toy Story 2, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo.
I think that's correct.
yeah, so we hadn't quite hit Nemo yet, or The Incredibles. Some of those like early
Yeah,
2000s Pixar movies that you're like, oh, something is different about these guys.
Right.
Wally,
right.
um,
But
Cars,
but Toy Story was enormous though.
Right. Toy Story is huge.
Yeah, but they didn't have the full on track record of kind of the
Correct.
diverse
That's true.
movies that Pixar would make yet.
That's
I
fair.
think that they were still big,
Yeah,
but I think everyone here was still in kind of the shadow of Walt Disney Animation.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I mean and we're coming off of the golden era of Disney animation of the 90s.
Right.
Of Lion King and Mulan and Little Mermaid
Beauty
and
and the Beast,
Beauty and the
Aladdin.
Beast,
Tarzan,
Aladdin. I mean,
Aladdin.
yeah, like we are coming off of that to Shrek, and they went. I just think that's pretty like notable to point out. I also feel like something that stuck out to me watching this movie when we're talking about it in juxtaposition, like in comparison with Disney and with Pixar,
Uh-huh.
is it's such a silly movie.
It's
Hmm.
And I feel like when we look at Disney and we look at Pixar, these are movies that certainly are comedic, but they're mostly like heartfelt stories. And I think Pixar, especially, became known for including adults in the movie by having themes that speak to their life as parents
mm-hmm.
or that they could connect to in some way. And this connects it this also brings the adult into the movie with the kids, but it connects to them on a humor level of like, we're gonna make this silly goofy like Shrek's bathing in mud and it'll make your kids laugh, and then we're also gonna sneak in like I gotta save my ass from Shrek, and it's
Right.
gonna have the parents laughing at that, like, oh, I didn't see that one coming. And I just think that is like a clear distinction that as I was watching it, I'm like, how many kids movies like this get made anymore?
Right. No, it reminds me of a quote from one of the like either the creator or one of the main writers of SpongeBob, where he was like, the plot of those episodes are made for kids, but the
Mhm.
jokes of SpongeBob are made for the
For the
adults.
adults. Yep.
And I
Yep.
feel like Shrek operates in a very similar way, where it's like, oh,
Yep.
you're making fun of the fairy tales, and the kids get that, and like some of the like really obvious jokes are definitely for the kids, but then there's like the deeper, more meta stuff
Yep.
that's like purely for the adults. And
Yeah.
like, because I remember watching it with my parents as a kid, and like they would laugh really hard at certain pit, and I'm like, I don't get why they think that's
Right.
so funny. And then watching
Yep.
it this time, I'm like, that's why they think this is funny. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's different too because just of the way some animated movies are made now for like shorter attention spans.
Yep.
And I don't think this is all of them, but I do think some of them fall into it. Like like Super Mario movie, for instance, which I liked. It's not a lot going on,
Right.
but we're also facing up against like YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels and things that give you like a little bit of something for 10 or 15 seconds, and you just go to the next one. And so like some of the jokes and even some of the more heartfelt moments in Shrek that have a little bit of time to breathe, I don't think you get anymore, or maybe
Yeah.
not as often anymore. But,
Right.
I mean, you look at that era of Pixar movies, and there was a lot of heart in all of them. And you go through some of that era of the DreamWorks movies, and then even some of the more recent ones, like we talked about Kung Fu Panda and How to Train Your Dragon, and both of those, but especially Kung Fu Panda, should be just like a really stupid movie,
Right.
but they give it the emotional weight and the time
Right.
to kind of let it breathe.
Yeah.
And I don't think you get that anymore.
I think because these are genuine comedies.
Right.
Well, these are things that adult comedies do, that they bond you and connect you to characters and make you feel for them, and at the end of it make you laugh with them. And that's the thing that I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we have that kind of kids movie anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think if you're gonna make a good kids movie, it's like a Spider-Verse, or it's Inside Out 2.
Right.
It is something that is like reaching for something meaningful,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to just being like a well done comedy.
Yeah.
Because I think kids movies are still like silly and stuff, but like you said, Joseph, like with Mario, there's nothing happening here other than uh we're being we're kind of trying to keep their attention.
Yeah.
Um so yeah, I just thought that was something that popped out to me just thinking about. It'll be interesting to see what Shrek 5 is like,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what that movie is like. Um the last thing, I've mentioned it a little bit already. This is a DreamWorks versus Disney
Yeah.
war zone.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Um I couldn't find the exact research. Trent made I'm curious, do you know, like, was this movie pitched to Disney originally?
Well, I'm pretty sure it was um Jeffrey Katzenberg, I think is his
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
He was like he worked for Disney and may have even been like CEO at one point. And then he leaves.
Mhm.
And then like famously DreamWorks Animation's first movie is Ants, which is like
Oh,
famously
yeah.
like extremely similar to A Bug's Life.
Yeah.
And so like that, and he stays with DreamWorks from that point on. And so I think that would like sort of begins this like Cold War between like DreamWorks and Disney,
Yeah.
of being like Katzenberg being like, we can do animated movies a different way.
Yep.
So
I
that's what I remember the genesis of it being from
Okay.
stuff I've read over the years, but like I can't think of direct stuff.
So that makes more sense than what I was remembering. But the fact that he comes from Disney makes the Lord Farquaad personalization in
Mm-hmm.
this movie all that better, because he is a fill-in for the CEO of Disney at the time, Michael Eisner.
Mm-hmm.
Um, who, and then his castle is like made in Disneyland's image, like
Yes, it
the
looks exactly like Disneyland.
it looks exactly like Cinderella's castle in Disneyland.
They have the "It's a Small World" rip-off
Yes,
song.
that's
Yes,
right.
yes,
That's
the
right.
melody is the exact same.
The melody is the same, and I just was like, man, that stuff is so. When you talk about this movie being meta, like, especially at the time that probably only the small number of people knew was happening,
Right.
but it's noticeable, and I think it's hilarious that
Yeah.
they got that off in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, any other history notes you want to point out?
Just two of the co-writers on this are Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio, who also wrote the first three Pirates of the Caribbean movies. So, and also co-wrote Aladdin. So I'm like, okay, these guys know how to do
Yeah,
like action adventure movies. That's part of the reasons like this movie is like structured so well. Because
yeah,
it's like these guys just get how action adventure works. And similarly, the director Andrew Adamson, I just learned today, like he did the first two Narnia movies. Like,
oh,
so I'm
interesting.
like, these are people who understand like actually how like a straightforward hero's journey works too, which is why they're able to make fun of it so well.
Yeah. Oh, that is like so revealing.
Yeah, isn't it?
Oh, sorry, go
No,
ahead.
you're good. You're good.
Well, that makes me think like about the people who were working on this. We
Mm-hmm.
talked about it a second earlier. One history note to hit is that Joseph, you mentioned it. This came out the same year as Prince of Egypt, right?
I
Was
think
it the
Prince of
same?
Egypt
No,
came
Prince of
out
Egypt is
before this.
first.
Okay, but they came out back to back.
Yeah, like or
Dream
like really close.
DreamWorks was working on Prince of Egypt at the same time they were working on Shrek.
Yes.
And I read that they would send animators from Prince of Egypt, like take them off the project and send them to work on Shrek almost like a punishment.
Mm-hmm.
Like you weren't either doing good enough or like we don't have enough people to go around and work on Prince of Egypt, so we're like you kind of got to go work on this like side project, which is like crazy to think about. Like they were obviously the writers of this movie extremely talented, but to think that this was like in the at least in the animation rooms, this was like a side project. This was like a almost an afterthought in comparison to what else was going on in the studio. Is like just crazy to think
When it
that it became what it became.
when it's also crazy because like the animation in this movie at times is like I don't mean to insult the hard
Yeah.
work people did on this, but like it looks kind of like janky at a couple parts.
Yes.
But in a
Oh yeah.
weird way, like it works in the movie's favor because the whole movie is about like not judging things based on their appearance. So you could almost
Right.
I could see a world where like everybody working on it be like, yeah, we intentionally made it look like that to like fit with the theme of the story. And so the idea again that it beats Monsters Inc. like with its like very crisp and detailed animation on like Sully's hair and
Mhm.
everything, like
Yeah.
is also this crazy
And
notion.
and then you look at that, the animation styles for Prince of Egypt and Shrek are so different.
They couldn't be
Insanely
more different,
different.
man. Yeah. I just yeah, it's wild to think about those two movies being worked on at the same time.
By the same people.
Yeah. When
And
you
remember, sorry, real quick, but that
yeah.
Steven Spielberg founded DreamWorks. Like
Thank
this
you.
is
Yes.
Steven Spielberg is also a big part of this, where like he's like, oh yeah, we can definitely do this. And then he was like, why does Mike Myers have an accent? And they were like, okay, we'll try it with. And he's like, they're like, try it with the Canadian. He was like, never mind, Mike Myers needs the Scottish accent. Like he
Yeah.
apparently was like one of the reasons that signed off on some of these decisions too.
Yeah, he had a more of a hand in this movie than you would think. I think the Steve Martin Bill Murray thing was like a Spielberg idea.
That tracks.
And so I forget that he founded DreamWorks, but I because this is like the third movie in the production in the studio's history, like I think he had more of a hand in this than you would realize.
No, and I know he like handpicked the actress who voices Fairy Godmother in the second one because
Oh, really?
he again going back to this the Disney thing. He found her audition tape to play Ursula for The Little Mermaid, and she didn't get it. And he's like, she'd be perfect to do this.
Wait,
And
that's good.
yeah,
Oh my gosh, crazy! I tell you, yeah, this movie's a miracle that it got made. I think there's a lot of like little lucky things that happened for it to get made the way it was made. Um, so after rewatch, what held up? What held up the best?
I think the meta humor and the soundtrack. I was just like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, all these jokes that are referencing other things. Like Joseph, like I noticed during the scene where he's fighting the knights at Lord Farquaad's castle, he does like Undertaker's tombstone pile driver. And
Mm-hmm.
like they do the whole thing making fun of like the Bachelorette or at least like all of the
yes,
dating shows from like the Newlywed Game and stuff like that. And just man, the music's so great. Like the Hallelujah needle drop is still like just
so
so
good.
perfect in this, and like obviously All Star. Um, yeah, it's just so funny. This thing is
And
just so funny.
and I think even more than just the meta humor, I don't remember there being just like a non-meta joke that didn't work. Like
Yeah.
I think just the humor of it in general was great. Like the you know, it was making fun of classic fairy tales, so all of the jokes were more like classic timelessy type of jokes. There was a couple that, you know, as the English language continues to change might fall out. I don't think there were any jokes you had to sit around and like talk to someone and be like, "Oh yeah, this is actually what this joke meant, why it's funny." I think it's all still pretty good and relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I there's so much like coming back on it that I genuinely forgot about. There one of the first things is that scene at the beginning when we're introduced to Lord Farquaad and he's got the gingerbread man on the like he's got like his leg broken off on the torture table. That scene genuinely like used to freak me out as a kid. Like
It's
it was
like
like
scary.
it comes in and it's so serious and like gingerbread man's being tortured and you're just like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen to him? Like
and and then too with that scene, like me and Courtney sometimes today will be like, well, she's married to the Muffin Man. The Muffin Man.
Or like not the gumdrop buttons. Like anytime like something gets like messed up on an outfit, like
Yes,
not the
oh my
gumdrop
gosh, not the
buttons.
gumdrop buttons. The nursery rhymes were like a little bit poison to me on this watch because like I feel like that's all I listen to these days. Like I
Yeah.
was like, I don't need this right now. I don't need the reminder. I hear these all day long. Um the one of my favorites that I was reminded of is the donkey and dragon romance.
Yep.
And it like
Oh
kickstarts
yeah.
in this movie. It's so good, man. Like it's
It's
just
such a
so
great twist.
yes. It's such a great twist when it's like when the dragon's breathing fire on everyone in the castle, they're trying to rescue Fiona, and then they she locks eyes with Donkey, starts batting her eyelashes. I'm just like that is like gold to me. I don't know. It's just like so funny.
Hmm.
And it like plays in with the theme that we were talking about, Trent. Like not to judge a book by its cover. Like it
That's
just
what I was saying. I was like, this is actually foreshadowing of like the entire theme of the whole thing as
yes,
well, in addition to
yes,
being like funny and creative.
yep,
And Dragon stays as a character for like the whole series.
Yeah,
You know, maybe
yes, right,
not like a major character, but you know, you got to think. Well, they have babies, so
they do.
I,
right.
it's not great to think about the logistics of that because,
Hmm.
like, man, poor donkey. I don't know what was going on to him with that. That's probably a little rough. But like, donkey's a dad.
Yeah.
Spoilers for the
Right.
end of the second movie, but um, with
Yeah.
them having the little donkey dragon mutant babies.
Hmm.
Those were I love that in the second movie growing up. I love the donkey dragon hybrid babies. Those were
I think
hilarious.
I had the McDonald's toy of one of them.
Oh, that rings such a bell to me too.
There we go.
The the all the fantasy uh references beyond just like beyond the fairy tale stuff, but like, when they're hiking up to rescue Fiona, it felt very Mount Doom.
Oh yeah.
Very like overt homage there. Joseph, I don't know about you, but I was getting a little like Throne of Glass comps early in the movie with like magic is being outlawed in the land and they're rounding up all the magical creatures and there's a contest of champions for Lord Farquaad to go save the princess. I don't know.
I don't really see it because that's kind of another just general fantasy trope.
It is. But
So
so maybe Throne
Hey,
of Glass is just pulling off of the generic fantasy
hey,
tropes.
Shrek's influence reaches far and wide. We gotta figure this out. So
I'm
maybe.
just saying,
hey, that's
maybe
true.
there's some there.
Um, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the fantasy stuff was funny. You have uh, Farquaad ride up in his horse, and Fiona's like, "Oh, the Lord Farquaad," and they just like come pick him up, and she's like, "Oh." Um, you know, biblically accurate Pinocchio, I guess, showing up. The Three Blind Mice,
Oh, the Three Blind Mice, yeah.
Little Red Robin Hood, or yes, Little Red
Riding Hood.
Riding Hood.
Riding Hood.
I'm mixing that up with Robin Hood.
Robin
Yeah,
Hood does show up
Robin Hood
and
does
he
show up.
But
cooks.
yes,
And they do
Robin
the
Hood.
great Matrix homage with Fiona doing like the leg kick in that fight
Hmm.
scene. Like,
Um, yeah, I think a lot of fantasy, and then maybe like folk tales and
Yes.
things, fairy tales getting brought in here. Uh, because I mean they do have like Cinderella's in it and Sleeping Beauty's in it.
Yeah.
I can't
The
remember.
Snow White at the beginning was
Yeah,
hilarious to me.
and then the dwarves
Yep.
are running around. Um, the three bears.
Hmm.
Yes. Yes.
So Goldilocks.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, I think just those connections and stuff to those other things. Pinocchio can break it down on the dance floor.
Yes, he
Hmm.
can. Yes. The Princess Fiona, we haven't talked a ton about her, but I thought like I forget, I guess, how big of a character she is as well. And I think
Yeah.
like I was it plays into the theme that this movie is all about, the fact that she is like kind of a badass. Like she walks out there and
Yeah.
takes down the robbers in the woods, and is very anti damsel in distress trope, which is like what this movie
100%.
needs, but also like not a lot of like those figures in kids movies.
Right.
Which is, yeah, I was like, oh yeah, no, Princess Fiona is like integral to this movie, but also just like a really cool character that I kind of forget about when I think about Shrek.
No, and like the first time you watch it, like the twist that she's an ogre, but only after sunset is like, what? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yep,
no,
Mm-hmm.
it's good.
it's
Yeah, I
great.
mean she gets the job done, and I think her personality is one that like I don't think it would have worked out with her if Prince Charming was the one to actually get up there.
Right.
Because
A great
I
point.
think her personality and Shrek's personality really work well together.
They do.
Yes,
Like they're what the other one wants.
Yes.
for sure they are. Yeah, absolutely. Um, we've talked about it a little bit already, but this is a this movie has an infinite amount of quotes to pull from
Mm-hmm.
and memes that it spawned off.
Yep.
So I feel like we should talk about both. Like, one, what are the quotes that really stand out to you?
I mean the like just get off my swamp is pretty famous
Oh
all
yeah,
by itself.
classic.
I like that boulder. That is a nice boulder. Um,
In the morning, I'm making waffles.
yeah, that's actually probably the
Oh,
most
that's such a
famous
good
quote.
one.
That's probably the
I
most
like
famous
thought
quote.
of you, Joseph, when I watched that. Like I was just like, I feel like I could hear Joseph saying that.
I probably have said that around you guys before. Uh, Funny story. Better out than in. My dad says that all the time.
There
Does
you
he
go.
really? Oh, I love
Yeah.
it. That's such a dad thing to say.
Uh,
I the colorblind one where Donkey's like blue flower, red thorns, blue flower, red thorns. Oh, this would be so much easier if I wasn't
Yeah, that's
colorblind.
great.
mhm.
Um, that's a good one. The onion one is what, like a go to. That whole conversation of Shrek and Donkey and Shrek talking about the onion. And I watched this. We're recording this on Monday night. I watched this previous Thursday, I want to say,
Okay.
in church yesterday. I kid you not. My pastor is like making a metaphor to our own personal layers, and he's like, someone reminded me recently that like Shrek talks about this, ogres are like onions. And I was like, no way, dude, that's crazy. I don't understand.
See, that's right. It's everywhere.
It
Like,
is, yeah, I'm telling you, like Shrek speaks multitudes across like religion and gender and everything, it's just Shrek is everywhere. um I that which is just also a great moment between him and Donkey.
no, it's so good.
What about how about the memes? What are your like if you had like a go-to, if you're like pulling up a gift to send somebody and it's got to be a Shrek gift.
Okay,
What's the one that pops to mind?
I'm gonna do my best, but it's the one where Shrek's kind of like,
Yeah, that's the famous one.
That's the that was good. Honestly, why if you're not watching on YouTube, go to YouTube now, and we don't even need to explain it. Joseph did
right,
such a good
right.
job.
No, that one's pretty famous. Like their face when they're like the photo booth in the castle takes their picture.
Yes,
Like that's pretty
oh yeah,
famous.
there's one of I don't know which, I don't think it's from one or two, because the CGI looks too good. But there's one of Shrek, like he's kind of like looking down, and then he like slowly raises his eyes and
Oh
looks
yeah.
into the
Oh yeah, where
corner
he
with the
pretends
little
he's
smirk.
getting where he's
It's
getting
like the little
stabbed.
like Riz face. Like it's
That's right.
so that one is like go to for me.
That's
Like
everywhere.
yeah, it is everywhere right now. Yeah, yeah. It's such a good one. There's one too recently. It like almost looks like photoshopped. I don't know if it's actually from one of the movies, but it's Donkey looking straight on with the light coming down on his face. It's like the camera's
Oh
directly
yeah.
on Donkey's face from the center. That's also a good one. Um, there's there are countless, and then all of the we didn't talk about this, but like I feel like there's a lot of like this like Shrek like fanfic that gets made.
Mm-hmm.
Like
There is.
I don't know if you guys remember Shrek is Love.
I wasn't gonna bring this up. I wasn't gonna bring this up.
That's why I put that for my name today.
I
boy,
wasn't gonna bring it up.
I don't even really remember all of it, but I just remember in high school. It is oof.
It's weird.
It's a very problematic video.
That was like
The
if
smell of
somebody
onions
asked me
fills
to
the
like
room.
describe what like early YouTube was like before it became
Yeah.
like, a proper
Yes.
established social media
Yes.
thing.
I don't even really want to like recommend that anyone go look.
No,
this
neither
up.
do I. I
No,
should clarify
no.
that too. Like, but I'm just saying, if you asked
Yeah.
like what a time capsule of like internet
Yes.
humor was like at a time,
Yes.
that was what internet humor was like at a time. Is it good? No. Like, should you watch it? Probably not. Like,
No.
but
For any kids that may be listening, seek out parental guidance before you
Yeah,
look
yeah.
this up.
yeah.
I like when I tell you I'm serious, like I don't remember a whole lot about that. I just remember it being a viral thing on early YouTube, and it was
It happened. It
was problematic.
It is a problematic part of internet history. 100%.
Yeah.
It's like brain rot before brain rot.
Yep.
Well, that's actually like
there you
kind
go.
of that's what I wanted to bring up. Is like Shrek is a little bit of a poster child for brain rot humor.
100%. I think you can draw a direct thread.
Yes.
From Shrek to where like
because I think the evolution of this is just like the bad CGI, like the glitchy CGI that happens in the first Shrek movie, and that being meme to death in reels and stuff that make absolutely no sense except to like Gen Z, Gen Alpha that think it's hilarious. Probably not even Gen Alpha. I don't. It's like it's just a Gen Z thing, I guess. But yeah, there's a direct thread from Shrek to brain rot.
Yep.
I guess it's just the like uncanny valley of it all.
I guess so. And like not to blame the people who made Shrek. Like I'm not saying they're responsible, but that's like you can definitely like there is a like descendancy of
I think you're right. I mean, like I don't even know why. It's kind of hard to explain.
You can't like put it into words, but like the fact that all three of us feel that it's true means something.
Yeah, it means that it's true. Yeah, exactly.
Or we're just all three wrong. But I'm gonna
right. That's true.
That's totally possible.
I'm gonna say that we're just right about everything. So yeah, of course.
Right. I mean, in my mind, we are. Any other like quotes or just like moments that really stick out?
There's one from Shrek 2.
Oh yeah, Shrek 2.
That me and my best friend growing up would quote all the time. Well, there's two. Shrek and Donkey off on another whirlwind adventure. And then
yep, that's a good one.
Classic.
Shrek and I drank some magic potion, and now we're sexy.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one, man.
We were probably like 10 years, or I was a year older than him. We were probably like 10 and 9 years old, running around just yelling that quote out all the time. Because, you know, for us, that's kind of, for a 10-year-old, that's a pretty raunchy quote.
Right. Yeah.
And my mom didn't say I couldn't say it. So,
yeah,
you know, we said it.
Shrek 2, like I said, I love it so much. You guys watched it. So how did Shrek 2 live up to your memory at, after you threw it in right after Shrek 1?
It's pretty great. It's better than the first one. Like,
Really?
yeah. Like, I love Shrek 1, but Shrek 2 has everything that Shrek 1 has and more. Like,
Oh,
so there's no
wow.
downside to Shrek 2.
What would
Puss
you
in,
say?
Puss in Boots is really funny. I don't know if I
Yeah.
would say it's better. They might be like even for me. I think watching both of them kind of back to back, I was like, these are two pretty good movies. And if
Right.
they just stopped it here, that'd kind of be a legendary run.
Yes,
Mhm.
I agree with that.
Because the third and the fourth Shrek are not great.
I've actually never seen either.
I think I've seen the third one. I
When
have
did,
not.
when did the third one come out? That was like
2007
That
maybe.
sounds
Oh,
right.
okay.
That sounds right.
Um, but like
Yeah, you're right.
the second one, it's funny too being older. Like we're chasing a white Ford, we're chasing a white Bronco,
Yes.
and them getting Puss in Boots catnip and him being like,
I was
"That's
about to
not
say
mine."
the whole like cops spinoff of Knights that they're watching is
Hmm.
so funny when you're older and like understand what it's actually making fun of.
And it's interesting too because you watch Shrek 2 or you watch Shrek differently when you know what's coming in Shrek 2 because when they leave the castle, Shrek's like, "Well, who were you expecting, Prince Charming?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then
And
you
then it's
go
like,
into
yes,
Shrek 2 and Prince Charming's there, and he is a loser. He
yes.
sucks. But then you get even more uh, like fairy tale stuff with Fiona's dad being the frog prince.
I,
Yeah.
I was watching it
Yep.
with Emily and Matt, like, and I was like, oh my gosh, guys, when he turned into a frog at the end, I was like, this is the original, like, would you still love me if I was a worm? Like, that's the origin of
Hmm.
this thing.
Yep.
Yep, and
I
then
The I
I
need a hero sequence,
I
like,
was literally about to say that. That is the thing that's ingrained in my mind from
it
that movie.
holds up
Okay.
incredibly well.
Okay. All right.
yeah,
And like the
and
giant gingerbread man, like
Yes. Yes.
they
Oh my.
give him the Godzilla roar. It's so
Yeah. I
funny.
used to
Like,
get so sad about him. I feel sad for the gingerbread man a lot. I just
yeah,
yeah.
he's vulnerable. Like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he's also because when they bake the cookie, the big gingerbread man, Gingy's like, "It's alive!" So it's
Yes.
like a
Yes. Yes.
Frankenstein thing going on. So they're pulling in Frankenstein.
I need to watch
Um,
this, man.
I was like,
Ah,
gosh, you need to pull up Shrek 2 right
I
now.
should have watched it before the pod. I didn't have time, but man, I
Shrek
miss it.
Two, Shrek Two's great. That was a really great movie. Um, did you guys ever watch on the DVD the Far Far Away Idol?
I was gonna bring
Yes.
this up. Does
Oh
anybody?
my gosh. I'm so
It was
glad you said this.
so
That's also
funny.
become its own like meme series where people will post a frame and be like, "Does anybody else remember on the DVD like that there was an
Yeah.
American Idol spoof, or was this a
Mhm.
dream that we all had that we just pretended was real?" And it's like, no, this is a thing.
And
I wouldn't have unless you said it just then. And now I'm like, yeah, I'm back. I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah, that was
well, that's another thing too. Like you remember those like 2000s movies when you would get them on DVD, how much fun just the menus
yes.
were. And you could
Bro.
go in and like find little secret games and little secret clips and stuff
Yeah.
if you go to the right spot on the menu.
The
Yep.
two my two favorite ones of this Elf. You could do the snowball fight with like an old fashioned
Oh,
TV remote, and
Oh, I
then
didn't know that.
Penguins.
that's so cool.
And then for the first Madagascar, they had like a mini game with the penguins where like you're sneaking around on a boat.
Yes.
And
Yes.
like if
Oh
the
my gosh.
spotlight caught you, you would like lose the game and it would go
I,
back to the main menu.
I saw something that might have been a few months ago. Do you remember the DVD menus for the first six Star Wars movies?
Mm-hmm.
How just like killer those DVD menus were because it would show like clips from the movie
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
and
Yep.
like
And John Williams just cooking in the
Yep. Yep.
background.
Yep.
yeah, I mean because the menu for Revenge of the Sith was either like Utapau or Mustafar,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
and it was greatest of all time. And
There is some.
now the menus on stuff is just like an image from the movie or the poster, and it's like play, scene selection, options. And that's
Right.
all you have.
It's a weak sauce.
It is. It is. They used to put a lot of effort into those things. I'm on a DVD collecting uh spree right now. I am I've been discipled as a physical media collector from the Big Picture podcast, and I am like I gotta get my hands on Shrek 2, I think. I think I gotta find a way to find someone that's selling a used Shrek 2 copy somewhere. Because
There
I
we
don't
go.
think because I say this because I was just at my mom's and I did a raid of her DVD cabinet because she didn't care to have all the same stuff anymore. And I couldn't find it there. I got a lot of good stuff though. I got the Dark Knight trilogy. I got Fellowship of the Ring. I got a ton of Pixar movies.
So I went to Walmart today, and I don't know if your Walmart would have it, but they had a Shrek collection.
Oh,
The four Shrek movies, the two Puss in Boots movies, all of the shorts, and then a couple episodes of, I guess there was a Puss in Boots TV show.
There
oh,
was.
interesting.
That's right.
$20.
Are you serious?
Incredible.
I gotta get to Walmart. I gotta get to Walmart now. I still haven't seen Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which
It's incredible.
everyone loves. I still got to see that.
I haven't seen either of them.
Okay, there you go.
I've only seen Puss in Boots the
Is
last
Shrek in those movies?
No, from
No.
most of
Okay,
my knowledge.
kind of like the
There's
Batman and the Joker movies.
there's a reference to it, like I think at the end of, it's not a spoiler to say, but at the end of The Last Wish, he like sails to far, far away.
Oh, okay,
Something like that.
cool. So, would y'all say, Trent? Would you say Shrek 2 best Shrek movie?
I I I would. I love both of them, but like I think Shrek 2 has everything that the first one has plus
Wow.
more.
Okay. And Joseph, you're riding true to number one.
I think because Shrek 2 pretty much starts at the end of Shrek 1. It's almost
Yeah.
like watching a single movie.
It's like
Yeah,
Dune
yeah.
for 1 and 2.
Yeah. Wait. Hold on, guys. I think we just came up with something. Are 3 and 4 worth the rewatch at this point? Or are they just kind of like,
I never saw 4.
that
I
how
don't
we're gonna
remember.
talk about
I don't
Mando
remember
and
3.
Grogu in a
I don't
few
remember
years?
3 except that Fiona's dad dies because there's like a
Oh,
joke
interesting.
where like they wake up Shrek and Shrek's like somebody better be dying and it just cuts to the dad and like something like that or something like that.
And like Shrek's adventure is he doesn't want to be king, so he goes and finds Fiona's cousin Artie, King Arthur, and I think Prince Charming is one of the villains of the movie. Like he comes back and maybe kidnaps Fiona or something, because they have another like fight musical sequence, and I don't remember what song's playing. But it's another really famous song, and I don't
Yeah.
remember what it is.
I don't know
And
if I'll ever.
Fiona's pregnant in that one,
Yeah.
and then
And then they have the kids in the fourth one.
they have the kids at the end of the fourth one, or at the end of the third one,
The
and then
third
in the
one.
fourth one, Shrek is freaking out about being a dad. That
Mm.
one has a good meme in it with a little kid that walks up to Shrek and is like, "Do the roar,"
Oh yeah.
and but like he makes a deal with Rumpelstiltskin or something to never have met Fiona. And
Interesting.
yeah, they're definitely not as good.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll ever watch them. But I will. What I'm curious is, will you two be wanting to watch Shrek 5?
It will depend on the trailer.
Oh, okay. I gotta say, I thought normally when fan like criticism gets out of control on like animation from a screenshot or a snippet that goes out online, I'm like, all right, can everybody calm down? But after rewatching Shrek, I was like, they got to change the animation.
They do. They do. They have to fix it.
It's so out of place.
And it's not just the animation's better, because some people are saying that. It's like, no, Shrek looks different. Like, he
Right.
looks different.
I think Donkey looked worse.
Yeah, Donkey
than
also.
Really?
Shrek did.
Yeah.
I think that's just the thing. It's like animation gets on these trends. It seems like in animated movies where everyone feels the need to have the same style. Everyone wanted to copy Pixar for a while, and then Spider-Verse happens. And
Spider-Verse.
now everyone wants to go back to hand-drawn animation that has a little bit more like comic book looking flair like Spider-Verse. And I'm just like, why not stand out? why not go back to? You don't have to make it look as bad as the first Shrek did, but like go back to what made Shrek Shrek.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably want to go see the fifth one, but what fifth movie in a series has
That's a,
really been that great? Like
oh, that's a good
Pirates,
question.
Pirates of the Caribbean wasn't like the
No,
fifth one wasn't bad, but it wasn't very good. Indiana
Indiana Jones
Jones
was
is
mid.
kind of like okay, it wasn't as bad as the fourth one, but it's still like, why did we feel the need to do this?
I guess we're about to find out with Toy Story 5.
This
Yeah, I mean,
this will be the new test.
the
Yeah.
difference I think is Toy Story has not had a bad movie.
No,
Now
No.
the first three are definitely the best, and then I liked the fourth one. But you can't look at any of those four movies and be like, oh, one of these is just like absolute trash.
right, right.
Like you kind of can with like the fourth Indiana Jones, and personally, I think about the fourth Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, exactly.
And
There are no misses.
yeah, and I mean the new Toy Story looks good,
I know.
but then
I'm so
Shrek,
hopeful.
I don't think it's gonna be bad.
Shrek 3, you see the signs of the series kind of running out of steam, and then Shrek 4 is just like, what are we doing? I mean, I guess Puss in Boots, the Last Wish, kind of helped a little bit.
Yeah,
And that does have a unique animation style that's even a little bit different than Shrek. Like
Yeah.
it does like its own thing. It's like kind of anime inspired a little bit.
yeah. Which is fine to me. That's fine because it's a different character. But I don't know.
100%.
I think Shrek should look like Shrek.
Yeah.
And but I now that we're talking about it, I'm like I kind of am like maybe I'm just gonna keep the memory of the first two movies, and I don't watch anymore past that because the first two are so good.
They're so
Yeah,
good.
I mean, I don't think that's a wrong way to look at it.
It might not be. It might not be.
Like for you, you got a perfect duology. Like you don't need
Exactly.
anything else.
Exactly. Yep. Because like we said, it's basically the Dune of our childhood. Part
Cool.
1, part 2, back to back. There anything else we want to say about this movie?
I think we hit on pretty much everything, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
I think we gave Shrek his due.
His dude, we gave Shrek his flowers. He needed it. He needed the recognition. This was a blast. I love talking about this movie.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening as always. Obviously like different type of episode going down the Shrek rabbit hole, but it was a lot of fun. As always, you can listen wherever you get your podcasts. You can watch us on YouTube. You can follow us on social media at the Stinger Pod. We'll be back with some new content. Summer movies are heating up.
Mm-hmm.
They're about to be right around the corner. So get your popcorn ready. We're gonna be going to some movies this summer. So thank you again for listening, and we will be back soon.